Dude, hello everybody. So, I have spent pretty much all day catching up on manhwas that I just haven't read in the past couple of weeks, and I want to talk about two that I have just been keeping up with for an extremely long time and that I love with my whole heart. And so one of them is called um Pick Me Up Infinite Gotcha, and I started reading this when chapter 15 came out, and now they're on chapter 155. So kind of when it comes down to this manga or manhwa. This is not going to be good driving at all, by the way, so I don't want to hear no slack because I'm talking and not locked in. So I've been reading this manhwa for a while now, and I mean, it's just amazing. It's every time you think something's gonna happen, you don't, like, you just don't know what's going on, and it's in like the good way of they're keeping you on your toes, not the dude, I'm so confused what's happening. And it's the show's ability to kill off characters but not make it like Game of Thrones or something where everyone dies always, so it's you're expecting it. So they have times just like you just got plot armor the fuck out, but they have other times where, oh dude, this character you really love and has been growing and been working on themselves just dies, and it's like a genuine part that the characters come back to overall. Like, someone dies early on in the show or the manhwa, and like even right now, the most current chapter, they referenced them because someone else died. So they're like, them, and then also them right when we started out this journey. And it's almost in this way of they've done so much. So first of all, let me break down the plot. So there's this dude called Han, and he is the best at this game called Pick Me Up Infinite Gotcha, which is kind of like, imagine Clash of Clans almost, but Clash of Clans where you have to, or fuck, not Clash. Imagine, so SAO, 100 floors, yada yada yada. But then imagine that, but it's Genshin Impact. So you have to pull gotcha for characters. And then on top of that, imagine it being, fuck, what's the word? Do you guys remember Deep Woke in the Roblox game where you die permadeath? Or kind of like Tarkov almost, where you die, that character is dead, everything on them is dead. Which is just a super interesting kind of experience for a game anyway. But also, he's the best person to ever play it, but by playing it, he's just the dude in Clash who builds the thing, sends them out on missions and everything, but he doesn't fight or anything like that. So, he works a boring office job that he hates, and he gets isekai'd into this world as a one-star hero, the highest being level 7, but no one in the game has achieved the level 7 hero. I took that terribly. Holy. No one in the game has achieved a level 7 hero. And the highest anyone has ever achieved is level 6. He comes in as a level 1, and with a new guy who doesn't know how the game works, he helps the new master, or the dude who controls him, but he doesn't control like how he plays the game or anything, but he controls like what missions they send out and how they build the town hall and everything, and like where they place the walls and where they place the elixirs and everything. But you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't control any of the actual battling. It's all Han who does it. And it's just, it keeps you super interested and engaged because it's a topic that we've all seen, but in a really nice, interesting twist almost. That just, it keeps you engaged in such a way where you're engaged on not just the main character who feels overpowered, because he doesn't, but but you don't feel bored like, dude, why am I not watching this other guy's POV? Because there are some manhwas where, like, if you guys have ever read The Lone Necromancer, my one whole problem with that show, or the whole entire manhwa, my one problem with it is just simply how sometimes I wish I was watching a different guy play the game. Like, sometimes when watching The Lone Necromancer, I wish I was watching the dude who's working on becoming the demigod and not the necromancer. But in this show, you still feel like you're watching the most OP, well-developed character, but it's also in a way that makes him feel not like he's so OP and he can't lose or he can't do anything. And it keeps you so well engaged. And then there's different arcs, almost not arcs, but there are different things within the show that keep you engaged. And as characters grow, so in the start of the show, he hates the warhorse statues because it's this little gift the master gives him that he's like, why do I want this? And as he grows as a character and starts to appreciate actually what it means and not just that it's a warhorse, he starts collecting them, and the master starts giving him more and more elaborate warhorses to commemorate different experiences, and he keeps them all on a shelf. And it's those little moments that aren't even that big for the plot that really make it stand out. So when we're talking about it, I love this. It's probably my favorite manhwa of all time. I just love it so much. It's so good. And then I highly recommend that one. But then another one I also rarely recommend is Alone, or The Tower's Top Farmer, I think is what it's called. I can check my phone after this round, but it is basically a dude who farms, or a dude who gets isekai into the 100th floor of a tower that no human has reached. The highest ranking humans that are hunters in their world and get paid millions upon millions of dollars. Like, imagine kind of like Solo Leveling, like the hunters with big bucks, make all the money, super popular and everything. They've only reached like floor like 30. And this guy was just isekai'd into the 100th floor inside of Pit with the farming ability, or the farming class. And he just starts farming. And it's just a super nice, interesting, new press on this whole entire thing. It's amazing at world building. The combat is, like, if you want combat, it's just not the show for you, because that's not what the show is trying to be. It's not trying to be this elaborate, combat-focused, intense gameplay thing. It's just people living their lives, doing these interesting things inside of the tower, learning about it, and world building. But to say that, it doesn't mean there's not intense situation. It doesn't mean there's not combat. But it just means that it's not, like, the driving factor of the show is not combat. So if you want to just watch dumb combat the whole time, it's not gonna be a good show for you, or manhwa for you, because that's not what it's trying to be. It's trying to be like, sit down, read it, feel good. It just makes you feel good. It makes, like, it's not even that funny. It just makes you feel good. It's like a dumb rom-com, but no romance. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's like, it is everything you'd want to just sit down and read something that just makes you feel good and happy and everything. And it's just so, I don't know. It's just something about it is just so lovely. I can't even put it into words, pretty much, just how much I love just that whole entire thing. And just the fact that it's all about farming and just this tower being built and him being maybe the strongest human. We don't know, because we haven't seen him really fight that much. But what you do know is he's on the 100th floor, and no human has reached past the 36. So there's back of your mind, you're like, is he the strongest human? And then the fruits he grows aren't normal fruits. They're like, oh, dude, this tomato makes you, instead of gaining calories, it makes you lose like 5 grams or something. So like rich. So then he like starts having like his little cat come and export them out of the tower, and people start buying them. And it's just this amazing, almost everything about it is just this amazing, I don't know how to put it down, but it's just this amazing mix between everything that you would want from a manhwa. Keeps you on your toes. Super interesting plot that you haven't seen. It's a twist on a plot you have seen. Amazing. Just fall started that crazy. Amazing world building, like probably the best I've ever seen. Maybe only comes second to a show I've already brought up, The Lone Necromancer. It's the biggest show on, or the biggest manhwa on here, no doubt in my mind. I still love it though. I'm also pretty OG on this. I picked it up after watching a manhwa recapped on it about 2 years ago. So I can't really talk too much about the super early chapters, about how they like the actual writing behind them and everything, but from what I watched in that YouTube video, it was amazing. It keeps you, it kind of feels a little generic in the beginning. I'll give it that. It's like, oh, dude's at a school, dude gets necromancer powers, yada yada yada, 5-star, goes against like a demon cult or some shit, or some sort of cult. I don't want to spoil too much, but then it proceeds to get in this amazing plot between him not even being the number one ranker, but being like number 2 or 3 on the Korean servers, and then having to navigate that. But then another 1 and 2 players, they don't do all like the big world event stuff that he ends up doing. So even though he's the 3rd rank on the player, it's because he's doing these things in the world and kind of doing all this world building and other activities besides just grinding out levels and ranks and everything else. So on the leaderboards, he's not going to be the highest, but on everything else, everyone knows him better. He's more likely to like go into the world events of the world bosses and everything else and help Korea do things. And it just has the best world building I have ever seen in my whole life. Like, imagine, you guys remember Shield Hero Season 1? Forget about Season 2 and 3, there might even be a 4, but it's so ass we all dropped it after, like, 2, maybe 3. I don't really remember too much. It was just ass after Season 1, that's all I remember. Imagine that world building, but just better. Like, it does the same thing. It's like, it doesn't feel like, it doesn't sit you down and just world build for an episode, but just the way they present it, the way they go about it, it just builds oh my god, I'm so bad at video games. It just builds an amazing world for you to explore and do things in, and just almost feels like it's living and breathing and surviving, and it's just the most interesting piece ever to just enjoy. And the world just builds and builds and builds, and then the side characters, I want to say, dude, they are very sidey. Another thing I can say about Pick Me Up Infinite Gacha is the side characters do not feel like the side characters a lot of the time, but in this you can definitely tell who's the main character, who's the side character, and everything else. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes too, so it's like, if you like behind the scenes stuff going on, it's amazing, because it's almost like Classroom of the Elite, where there's so much stuff going. I've read that a light novel, by the way, but it's almost like that, where there's so much going on behind the scenes that you have to like watch a lore video on YouTube or some shit. There's so much going on behind everything in it. It's just so interesting to really try to pick up on all of it. So it's something so, it's all the small details inside of it that just make it amazing. And then the combat, the art is some of the best I have ever seen. It's so pretty. It's just immaculate. And because it's so big, the artwork can be that good and everything else about it. But it's so pretty. It looks so good. So good. So the TLDR is 3 best manhwas I've ever read from a top tier, like, No Life, is Pick Me Up Infinite Gacha, Top Tower Farming, and The Lone Necromancer. Some of the best manhwas out there, probably the best manhwas out here. Everything about them I love. There's not like a single thing that I would really change. Another one that, if you really want another one from me, would be if I can remember the name, One Coin Clear was amazing. The ending was a little bit rushed. We don't really know why. It actually ended, I think, this week or last week. Such a good, it was so good, bro. And then the ending was just butt. Like, they just rushed the ending so bad. You could tell they had so much planned for the series, and then the ending was just completely rushed. So I'm not gonna like sit here and be like, terrible ending, don't watch the show because the ending is that bad. But it's like, damn, I want a lot more from that type of ending. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's all I could really say from it, is just, I'd like some more from that ending, would really be it. But like, besides that, I love that one too. But no, that's about all of them. If you want more, I have a list of like another 50 that I try to keep up with. But dude, they're so gas, bro.